yourself, Dan Saiyan.
Bastards! You're gonna pay for that! After the fallen god of destruction defeats the only defender in Universe 10, he orders his minion to remove this ridiculous illusion that they tried to trap him and his squad in. But after the illusion is lost, it looks like there is another trickster, another defender here trying to stop the god of destruction from reaching the angelic palace and use their abilities of illusion to trap the squad inside this ship, ultimately failing in this task. After being trapped in this illusion for who knows how long, they realize that the other universes are prepared for something. Maybe not them, maybe the other fallen gods of destructions and their angels, but they are prepared for something. So they should be going into the subsequent universes with their guard up. Even the Venerable Heir says that they have been missing from the cosmos for a millennia. So Universe 6 may not be the same place it was back then. They need to have their guard up even in this universe so they won't fall for any trickery or get themselves ambushed like they did before. But we all know in Dragon Ball Kakumei that in Universe 6 we have Vegeta training the entire Saiyan race to be warriors, to become Super Saiyan and to protect Universe 6 and their planet from the rogue gods and angels. And in this instance, it seems that Cabba is facing a Caulifla who seems to have the upper hand. He shoots a ki blast that goes completely off base. Even Caulifla comments on this, but before she can even finish that sentence, Caulifla is attacked by Cabba, who realizes that, was this a distraction? Is this what you're doing? What the hell was that ki blast? But with Cabba coming in so close, she has no time to react to the ki blast hurtling behind her. But instead of using this ki blast to damage Caulifla from the back, he uses it as a springboard to be able to knock Caulifla in the back of the head with his knee at full force point blank range. That's enough to throw Caulifla back and get her dizzy enough to not be able to react as quickly as possible or as quickly as she was in the past, leaving Cabba to shoot a ki blast from his feet called Splitting Kick. And this is something that we have not seen, I don't think ever. I don't remember when we would have. A ki blast coming from somebody's feet. This thing is moving so fast that Caulifla really has zero time to react and zero time to think, but even with that zero time, she uses the best that she can and she stops the ki blast with her forehead, holding it in place and then gripping it with her hands, trying to stop it from pushing her back even further. But this probably is the worst case scenario when it comes to holding a ki blast, because as Cabba smirks, this ki blast goes boom right in the middle of Caulifla's forehead, leaving her down and out and getting his first W over Caulifla's 18. And Cabba leaves the field having made a signature move. Finally did it. He finally defeated Caulifla, who is far stronger, far more intuitive, and far more versatile than the very stiff Cabba, but Caulifla praises him for it. Vegeta is ready for them to take their training to the next level. Their individual training is over, and they need to... Vegeta knows what time it is. The monstrous ki that's coming toward their planet is of god of destruction nature, something that unfortunately him and his team are really not 100% ready for right now. This is very early on, so he needs to pull out all the stops. He's at a disadvantage because he's been seen by the mysterious force. Even the fallen god is kind of perplexed as to what Vegeta's doing here, who this character is, who this being is, and decides he needs to take a closer look and go to the other side of the planet. But this is the side of the planet that the castle, the city, and all the Saiyan population that is not fighter, and that is what Vegeta yells at Cabba to do. He tells him to go to the king and tell him to shelter all civilians. Cabba takes his leave and goes straight to the king as Vegeta takes Broly with him because it's time for them to gear up it is time for them to fight as one. Kappa flies at top speed trying to get to his location, and as soon as he gets into the courtroom, he starts yelling to the king that he needs to get everybody sheltered because he doesn't really know what's going on, but Vegeta says that something is happening and everybody needs to shelter up. All the Saiyans need to activate, and the king needs to go to the training ground right now. But the king, being one of my favorite characters, he tells him thank you and is stoically at ease with this situation. He is not breaking a sweat whatsoever. He is in battle mode. The Saiyans use a brand new technique never before seen and combine their ki to protect the planet in a ki shield, all encompassing, something that most villains or most evildoers wouldn't be able to get past. The king is surprised that this has started earlier than expected, but Vegeta doesn't really think that that's the case. But they're not here for a friendly chat, so the king needs to go and support his people and encourage the soldiers, and showing that he has now 100% respect for Vegeta. The king falls in line with Vegeta's orders. The fallen god's henchmen laugh because if this is a magic barrier, they can get past it easily. Remember, both these two are magic users, but the god says no, this is a ki shield, and he will be the one to dismantle it. And he does just that, using not only his own ki, but the power of destruction to basically Hakai the entire ki shield away. With the ki shield gone, they are sitting ducks, but the king orders them not to give up. They need to stand their ground. Broly wants to join, but it is not time yet. They need to bide their time and see what happens next. This god's fiends on one hand are interested in what this plan is, and these people are. They are far more prepared than any other species they've encountered so far, but on the other hand, this plan is counterintuitive because if you know what you're facing, this shield's not really going to do anything. So what is the next plan? What is going to happen next? And with the barrier fully Hakai'd, it is time for their super villain landing, and the fallen god of destruction lands right in front of Vegeta and his squad.
Well, here at last, damn gods of destruction.
Vegeta asks the god why he's here, even throwing a little bit of flair and respect into his greeting, but the god completely ignores him and is scanning him, instead saying that he is strong, which Vegeta already knows, obviously, that is where his power stands. The heir knows that Vegeta is not from here and has been trained by the angel Whis. He then finds out just by looking at Vegeta that they transform. His power right now is not the power that he goes into battle with. He can raise his power level and has been trained in angelic techniques. Vegeta is a Saiyan like the rest of the inhabitants of the planet, and his power is known, basically meaning that the venerable heir knows exactly what Vegeta's power level actually is. Vegeta has not learned to calm his mind. He is completely pissed that he is being scanned and told everything to him. All the information about himself this guy knows, and it's pissing Vegeta off. And once the venerable heir finds out Vegeta's name, he actually had used this time to wrap a chain around Vegeta's leg and bring him closer to him. This is something Vegeta was not prepared for, and in his base form barely can withstand it. This is enough to kill him if he wasn't Vegeta. The skirmish begins with Vegeta in still his base form being thrown around, and Broly tries to jump in but is stopped by the two minions. We finally get to see a God of Destruction level fight against Vegeta, and I've been curious about this since the beginning of this Dragon Ball fan manga, with the venerable heir attacking Vegeta and Vegeta literally just pushing himself back, trying to create distance because he knows that anything close will result in huge bodily harm. So he attacks the venerable heir, the fallen god of destruction, from afar, throwing ki blasts, trying to hit him with anything that he can, something that won't really put his own vital organs, his body in danger. And remember, Vegeta is on the back foot here, but he did transform, whether it be in Super Saiyan God or Super Saiyan Blue. He is not in his base form anymore. After pushing the heir back, Vegeta teleports right in front of him, and an onslaught of venerable heir and god of destruction punches come his way. Vegeta blocks every single one of them and then goes for his mask. he is going to know who this guy is if it kills him.
This is the last time I'm asking you.
And in that moment, Broly,
Who the hell are you?
shows that he's horribly underprepared for magic, and quite possibly ends Vegeta's career in the defense of planet Sadala. Vegeta gets sucker punched by Broly through Doula's magic. This isn't something that would normally happen, but because we have a magic user, these sort of shenanigans right here are going to be something that our heroes, and even the ones that haven't dealt with magic yet, they're going to have to get used to as they face these foes for the first time. Because now with Vegeta getting sucker punched, the Venerable Air has Vegeta in his grasp. He has him in his hold, and all Broly can do is sit and watch in horror as his actions dealt Vegeta a critical blow. This thing was not a light punch. Broly is a heavy hitter, and that was enough to knock anybody out. I do like this ability the Venerable Air has where he can kind of see in the past of the opponents, or just anybody really, and see what they've been through, what makes them who they are, and he catches a lot of these guys off guard this way because he's telling them information like, how do you know this information? Also, I do like the fact that his head looks like the Ocarina of Time. That's just an added bonus. But Broly here, he doesn't understand everything that's going on. Obviously it is Broly, but he does know that Vegeta is in trouble, and everybody on the planet seemingly is at risk of being destroyed by this false god of destruction. And so the Venerable Air charges Doula, his number probably 3 here, to face off against Broly, which I think is a complete mismatch. Although Broly's not used to magic, Doula is not used to Broly, so this is going to be a fun setup. I want to see what he looks like at the end of all this. But Broly is not having any of this "you're choosing my opponent" crap. He attacks the Venerable Air only to be portaled back to Doula, which, I mean, this is a scene that you wouldn't want, anybody wouldn't want, facing off against the legendary Super Saiyan like this. But Doula must be certain of his abilities, that he is not worried at all. He's actually extremely overconfident as a magic user, mainly magic user, and I wonder how he's going to really fare against someone like Broly, who has no magic abilities at all and isn't versed with magic to begin with. Vegeta is still alive. The artwork for this chapter is just glowing off the page. It looks like it is in motion. It looks like it's already being ready to be animated. This Vegeta coming at the Venerable Air, covered in blood, still has that issue with that one arm that Android 18 broke so long ago. This is all awesome stuff. I love that little tidbit here. But Vegeta is not ready to back down.
And if you think I'm going to let you humiliate me like that, you're barking up the wrong tree.
Come on.
Don't say things you might regret, God of Destruction.
One of the cool things about the Venerable Air is this chain whip sickle combination he's got. One of the few gods of destruction, or at least a fill-in substitute god of destruction, that actually uses weapons and abilities. But guys, look at the way that the Venerable Air is using these weapons, like how the pages are set up, how the attacks are coming at Vegeta, how they're going frenzy, they're going all over the place. Vegeta has to dodge out of the way. The way that he's attacking, the panels reflect that. It makes the page seem like it's frantic. It makes you feel like you're claustrophobic because of the way that he's attacking. And honestly, with a character in the Dragon Ball Super manga like Gas, who also uses weapons, I hardly ever saw that. The panels always look the same. In the midst of the chaos, Vegeta runs up right into the Venerable Air's face, but the Venerable Air grabs him by the head, and at this point I thought that he was a goner. He thought he was going to be having his head squished like a cantaloupe, but that is not what happened. Vegeta slams his forehead into his mask. Remember, in the last episode he wanted to know who the Air was, but the Air would not tell him. He wouldn't give him his name or anything. He wouldn't say anything. And so Vegeta, his mission was to remove that mask, and it looks like he's trying to break it off his face. This is not what your past seems to show me.
Scan me as much as you like. You'll never have access to who I am.
You are proud.
You have no idea.
So the Air hits him where it hurts. His other associate, Salaga, the one that looks more like a demon, he's actually looking, actively searching for Bulma right now. He is going to Bulma, and this is enough to give Vegeta a reality check that they're making this personal. And honestly, Vegeta in this fight has far more to lose. So does Broly. They are on a planet that have people that are completely vulnerable to these attacks and abilities, and the Venerable Heir really only has his associates, and that's it, who are already extremely powerful. Unfazed by this information, at least surface mode, he doesn't care about anything else the Venerable Heir is saying, and he again charges him with all his might. But the only difference from before is that this time Vegeta, the OG real Vegeta, the one that the heir wanted to see this entire time, is actually here.
Who do you think you are to come all the way here to threaten me, my brothers in arms, and my wife?
Vegeta bellows as he repeatedly strikes the Venerable Heir over and over and over again. And with one finisher, with one final flash, he wants to end it now. One that seems to be covered in God Q, but what he doesn't anticipate is what comes next, and that is the Venerable Heir's chain wrapping itself around the blast, heading straight for Vegeta and avoiding any damage. This sickle not only binds Vegeta's hands together as he is committing to the attack, but also cuts his face wide open. And the heir just rides this up like one of Batman's grappling hooks. He just goes all the way up, completely bypassing this attack, and kicks Vegeta right in the face, but doesn't kick him hard enough to push him away. Vegeta is still held up, but he can be strong enough at this moment to handle this attack. That is when things start elevating for him. The heir is now at full attention for Vegeta, this mortal that dares to fight a god of destruction and is surprising him at every single turn. And with one strike, Vegeta takes the invitation and punches the Venerable Heir with both his fists straight into the side of a mountain. Pure unfiltered devastation, but again, this chain is not something Vegeta should forget about this easily or this fast, because this is enough to wrap around Vegeta and hold him there. But pushing himself well beyond his limits, going plus ultra here, Vegeta snaps the chains, breaks them, and comes down with the force of 2 billion megaton bombs. I'm just making that shit up, but that's kind of what it seems like, right into the Venerable Heir's mass, and finally breaks it. On the ground, the situation is that the king is being a king. He's holding back the troops because he realizes that these guys are a serious threat to anybody here on the planet, and just a couple of the best troops they have could go up and try to fight, but they could also more than likely die, and the war has not even started yet. To lose anybody at this stage of the game, it's still very early on. So I understand where the king is coming from here, but I also understand that Kaba has been through some shit along with Caulifla and Kale, and they are ready to get through more of some shit and at least try to help Vegeta and Broly before something devastating happens to them. The fight between Broly and Dula is probably one of the funniest mismatches that I've seen in quite some time. Broly is using him as a toothpick. Any magic that Dula could produce, Broly is just kind of powering right through it, not really letting him kind of commit to casting any spells or having any effect on the battlefield. And because of that, he is just completely under the table when it comes to Broly. He is not even in the same league as him, and it's actually kind of funny to watch somebody so cocky be completely unperched from their throne. The mask, sadly, is not fully broken. It is severely cracked though. Looked like a crater landed right in the middle of his forehead. That thing is shattered as of right now. It is broken, but he is still left standing and laughing. This man is laughing like the menace he is. He does not care. He is having the time of his life. Vegeta gave it his all, and you can tell the frustration on his face because this guy seems to be enjoying all of this, but it looks like he has earned the respect from the Venerable Heir, and the Venerable Heir gives him his real name. It's called Amron, and he is just a stand-in for the God of Destruction of Universe 14 that is, as of right now, frozen in time. He is an aftermath, kind of a apprentice to this guy, and probably was going to be the God of Destruction for that universe himself as well. And we find out here that he didn't even need to stop at this planet. He wanted to stop here because Vegeta drew him to the planet. A guy that was trained by an angel that's just a mortal, he needed to see him, and obviously he does not disappoint. Vegeta is the real deal. With bloodlust rising, the Venerable Heir wants more from Vegeta, and that is when Vegeta probably does one of the sickest solar flares I've seen. I guess he just uses his normal ki to completely blind the Venerable Heir on his own, and he runs back to the other Saiyans, telling Kale, Caulifla, and Kaba to go find Bulma. The other guy is with Bulma, and that's when the king basically tells him that he probably won't take part in this fight unless his people are in danger, which completely makes sense. Again, the king is completely covered by me at all costs here. He is doing the best he can with his limited abilities. Dula puts Broly to sleep. That is the only way he could stop the madness. And look at this guy. He has had better days. He just looks like he has been through it, man. This dude got clapped up. He is not seeing straight. His teeth are missing. He's just completely gone, and he uses this time when Broly is sleeping to just start getting some free shots in. He's just going in on Broly, hopefully trying to damage him in some way, although I highly doubt he's doing anything. But the other Saiyans are kind of appalled by this behavior. This is not a honor type of action that he's taking, but Dula, he don't give a fuck. He's doing whatever he needs to basically win this fight. This lack of honor is enough to even incite the king to take action with his lieutenants that he is going to stop Dula, which again, Dula is the small fry here. He is not the god of destruction, so of course he's probably feeling pretty confident that they could dogpile on him. But that is when Broly wakes up, and just this page alone is just gorgeous. The way they have Broly when he's going into his epic mode or his angry mode, his Ikari state now in this manga is pure insanity. He just kind of looks like a Street Fighter villain at this point. He looks like completely out of a different manga, and he is trying to grab Dula. He is paralyzing him with fear. This could be Dula's end. And as he begins to power up a finisher, something that obviously is going to just smear Dula out of existence, off the planet, the Venerable Heir feels that Dula's end is coming and actually telepathically links with him, asking, "What are you doing?" And Dula's like, "Oh, I can't, this guy's too strong, I can't, I'm done for." And that's when Dula tells him exactly what to do. After reading Broly a little bit more, he knows what his soft spot is and how to get Dula out of the situation. So Dula opens up 2 wormholes, and these are enough to stop Broly in his tracks. Out of both of them, he snatches Lemo in one hand and Cheelai in the other, and that is when Broly, honestly, he just gives up right here. He's not going to do anything against Dula. He will stop. He will lay down his arms. I mean, the planet may be in danger, but Broly's not like a warrior. He's not even like that civilized. He's basically really young in his mentality, and he sees his friends like they could be dead. So he stops. He's like, "No, I'm not playing with this. I'm not double playing. I'm done." But Dula, instead of probably taking the heir's advice and, using these hostages to get the fuck away, he's like, "No, I'm not putting these guys down. This guy is a pure menace." And honestly, one of my favorite characters so far in Kakumei. Cheelai tries, even in this moment, to reassure Broly that, "Don't worry, we're going to be fine. This guy needs us as hostages. This demon is going to have to let us go at some point if he knows what's good for him. But he is not here to get out alive. He is here for revenge over the way that he looks, his face, his pride. It's hurt." And in that moment, he kills Cheelai, which I did not see coming at all. This is quite villainous behavior right here. This guy went a little bit too far with my Cheelai here, but she's cut through to the core. Broly is in the midst of losing it. That's what this panel means. This whole page is him staring at Cheelai. Everybody else is watching not only Cheelai, but what he is doing right now. He is in the midst of transformation, similar to watching his father die before him. He is in that state. And seeing this last image of Cheelai as she has blood gushing out of her mouth and she is in the middle of dying, calling out his name, that is when we get the next evolution of Broly. This looks like Venom Carnage. It looks so awesome. This is, I would call this World Ender Broly. This is beyond anything that we've seen before. It's been 5 months since Majin Buu was trapped in the Demon Realm and 6 months since the Grand Prix froze Universe 0. Unaware of how to get back into Universe 7, he has a good time and stuffs his face with all his treats. Majin Buu is now trapped in the Demon Realm, but he is not sad at all. He's having the greatest time just eating all the garbage and candy and snacks all around him. He's absolutely in heaven, even though he's in hell. Between bites, he finally realizes that the machine that brought him here is still very much right in front of him, and he actually thinks about what the hell this thing is. And seeing Fat Buu actually sort of kind of like do some critical thinking is a little strange, but I like it. The machine finally reminds him of Mr. Satan, and now being extremely lonely and trapped in this place, he doesn't know if he'll ever get back at all. "I can finally approach you, Majin Buu." A man slowly approaches Majin Buu, and he is quick to remark that he doesn't look like anybody that he's turned into candy so far, so who the hell is he? The man is the Archduke around these parts, and his name is Triguna. Buu feels a sense of evilness coming from this man, so he does what he has to do to protect himself, what Mr. Satan said to do when he has an altercation with anybody that actually wants to mean harm to him and has malice in their heart. But the man stops him. Dumbing everything down for Buu, he says that he's in the demon realm, so even though he doesn't have malice intentions towards Buu, there is just going to be malice coming from his aura because of who he is. What do you want from me? For 5 months, primary demons have been trying to approach you calmly, and you have been unleashing your transforming ray on them to feed yourself. But you seem to have transformed all the demons in the area, if not more. So our sovereign asked me to fetch you directly, and here I am. Buu accepts that explanation and asks the man if he knows what the machine is. The man is not a scientist, but he has people that he can bring Buu to that can possibly find out the secrets of this technology. This is enough to get Buu to follow this man because he wants to get back home. He doesn't want to stay here for the rest of his life. Mr. Satan is worried about him. And with Buu off to God knows where, we go to Universe 6. We cut to one of the most unlikely pairings, and that is Hit and Frost, with the latter still being in recovery from attacking the assassin. Frost goes back into his first form, while Hit explains that once you went into a coma, you were reduced to that form, and you've been in one for the last 5 months, healing yourself and recuperating. But Hit has nothing for Frost and does not want to deal with him any longer. Frost starts reading into the fact that Hit did not take him anywhere to get captured. He basically is taking him back to where he started. He's not arresting him, he's not collecting a bounty on him, he's just essentially letting him go. And he reads into that a little bit too much. Hit has taken Frost back to his home world. Frost curses Hit's name, and Hit tells him that he's not going to hand him over to anybody because he has not been hired to do so. He doesn't believe that Frost is any worse than Hit in crime, so he's not just going to hand him over to authorities without any payment. However, you left this planet abandoned after organizing piracy scenes on its entire surface. You then made its inhabitants believe that you had saved them from their enemies, who were in reality your own accomplices. You left the inhabitants of this planet in total misery after you realized that it was not worth a damn. And now they know you're here. They're just waiting for you to wake up and make you pay for everything you've done to them. So Hit actually takes Frost back to the planet to receive some good old-fashioned vigilante justice, not official justice. Frost attacks Hit, but that is a poor move, seeing as Frost is not even close to his strength at all, and he is still recovering. You're not the only one who's consumed by a need for revenge. Do you feel that yours is more legitimate than theirs? I've shown you that I'm stronger than you. Now you have to show me that your speech is worthwhile. Then I'll think about it. I know how it feels to be forced into a mold, which is why my kind is so persistent. I'm telling you all this because it almost sounds like you don't like your job, or even your life perhaps. Frost begins to freak out because he doesn't know if they know exactly where he's at. They know he's here, but do they know where? But he just doesn't care. He's not going to make amends. He's going to destroy the planet just because it brought him here. He thinks it through. If he destroys this planet, then the galactic authorities will find out where he is, and that's not going to be good for him at all. Plus, if he is going to get his revenge, he has to prove to Hit that he is serious about his own convictions. And so Frost decides to play along. Back in Universe 7's Demon Realm, the Archduke is leading Buu back to the palace. It is an honor to be in the company of the great demon Majin Buu. To see you during these months crush the primary species throwing themselves at you without letting the slightest trace of fatigue show was impressive.
Buu sleeps for a few seconds and is recharged for a long time.
A few seconds, my. We soon arrived at our sovereign's tower.
Your sovereign, can it be eaten?
What? No. He is the ruler of this kingdom.
Okay, too bad.
The Archduke explains that they are superior, the nobles that is, to the other species that are in this realm, who are usually just artificial beings. They are from the same tree as the Supreme Kais, something that Buu is extremely familiar with. When we emerge, we are destined to become either Kais or Supreme Kais, but it would seem that our existence as demons is related to the overall standard of living of the universe in which we are born. The more imbalance between creation and destruction increases, the more likely it is that fruits will become corrupted, giving rise to demon Kais. I myself was born from one of these corrupted fruits, just like Deborah, the former king of demons whom you killed. And they finally arrive at the demon tower. The Archduke explains that the sovereign is at the top of the tower, but he wanted Buu to confront the fighters on the way to the top before he actually met him. Buu doesn't care about any of that. He just wants to go back home. He offers the Archduke the robot, the machine, and see if he can fix it, which the Archduke says he will find the scientists from his kingdom to look into the matter as soon as possible. Knowing that this problem is about to be resolved, Buu is ready to go all out. You just destroyed everything. Our most important fighters are now dead.
That's it? But why doesn't it fall?
Well, gravity doesn't always have a say in this world. Buu reaches the top, but there's nobody here.
What a happy event to see you here today, Majin Buu.
Oh, it's you, Sovereign?
My name is Higatus, and I am indeed the absolute ruler of this place, otherwise known as Demon Supreme Kai.
Buu recognizes the man. Thinking long and hard about it, he sees, yes, he was with Babidi.
Impressive. I didn't indeed have connections with the wizard Babidi several million years ago.
This does not make Buu any happier because he does not like Babidi whatsoever.
Certainly not. Babidi was a selfish wizard seeking control over the world. He simply realized that there was some sort of unhealthy singularity in the depths of the universe, the embodiment of evil that seemed to take shape. But you were at that moment, it would seem, only a concept that fed on all that bad energy around it. My mission was to get you back and bring you here while he would bring to life the concept that you were. It happened exactly as he planned, and once you have come to life, you, Majin Buu, who, by the way, does not resemble at all what I observed at that time, you exploded with rage and destroyed 80% of this place, so Babidi took the opportunity to leave with you. And as if all that wasn't enough, it was his alter ego, Babidi, who had the nerve to come back here and force Deborah to be corrupted. So no, believe me or not, he was anything but my friend. That's all.
Buu did not listen to a word that he said, which is pretty on point with Buu. He actually had his back turned to him eating some popcorn. The Archduke finally catches up. I apologize for what Majin Buu just did. I had no idea he would annihilate the tower and the soldiers in it.
Majin Buu? What I'm getting at is that now that you're here and with war on the horizon, I want you to be our hound, our ultimate weapon. What do you say, big guy?
I want you to fix that. Tregu thing said you'll fix it if I help you.
It is the object that allowed him to come here. It seems that it's a random destination, and that his coming is purely due to chance.
Guess we're in luck.
I want to talk to Satan!
If our scientists fix your teleporter, would you consider my proposal?
And Buu agrees He just wants to see Satan again.
Draguna, bring this object to the scientific area. You see, Majin Buu, I once knew the progenitor of those angels who sit on top of everything, and I am 100% sure she will want to enlist us in all the other demon realms of the universes. So I would like to have a consistent defense in case of need. That said, you looked much more dangerous in your old guise, but I think I know what to exploit in you to enable you to become stronger. I think you're aware of your ability, the absorption.
Frost floats around the city only to see a doppelganger that looks exactly like Hit that actually catches him off guard, and he just skips on his way under the watchful eye of Hit. When somebody surprisingly sneaks up on Hit, or at least seems to, but Hit knew they were there the entire time. She has Hit if everything she's heard about Frost is true. Hit can't be 100% sure, but he is pretty relaxed about the entire situation. The woman has called on Hit, but isn't very much excited to see Frost here. They wanted Hit for his ferocity, but Frost has done way too much damage. The truth finally reveals itself. They had called on Hit because he is meant to save them. The solar flare that's about to hit the planet and reduce everyone to ash is extremely powerful and seems like it may be too powerful for someone like Frost. It seems, is trying to test Frost whether he's going to save the planet or not. Frost becomes impatient and decides he's just going to end up leaving the planet anyway, because if Hit won't teach him anything about how to become an assassin, any new techniques, and become more powerful, he's just going to take revenge out on his own. I warned you, Frost. I only aimed at your kidney. Next time your heart will end up in lint. I see you, I follow you, no matter what you try to do to get away. I will stop you, understand?
Scumbag, this man looked like you. Where the hell am I? This energy, this strength, what is
such intensity at such a distance? It's unthinkable. A monstrous wave of energy travels through the whole of Universe 6 in fractions of a second. No creature in the universe, when touched by such energy, escapes the all-consuming fear that plunges them into an abyss of unfathomable anguish. And in the blink of an eye, the rage of a Saiyan echoes with a deafening roar to the heart of every life form, even light years away from planet Sadala. Eula laughs, egging Broly on further and further. The Saiyan who has gone mad pushes shrill and immeasurable cries, and with the simple force of his voice, the scream of Broly crosses the space at a dizzying speed and strikes all the stars on its way, even a distant star. Its planet system goes out in a supernova. The King of Sadala is beyond words. Broly's scream has not just blown up one star system, but has lit up the sky with a sea of supernovas as it continues to break through Universe 6's barriers. He himself, realizing what has just happened to Broly happened to him long ago. He's losing control and filling in with his Saiyan rage. The Saiyan King pulls himself back from daydreaming only to see Cheelai falling down to her doom, and he immediately catches her, ordering his admiral to take Cheelai back to the Tuffle laboratories to attempt to save her life. Farsa, a normal Saiyan, asks to go with her, but she explains that there is no time to lose. Can you keep up? He says of course he can. Good. With that, she takes Lemmo and Cheelai and they head off to try to attempt to save Cheelai's life, as the king solemnly worries about Broly and what's to come with this outburst.
What's happened to him? Why doesn't this big guy move anymore? You've absolutely no idea of the seriousness of your act, damn it!
But with Vegeta's back turned to him, the air slices right through his shoulder, threatening him. If he drops his guard again, he will end him next time. Using his warping technique, he still has an ace up his sleeve and warps Broly toward one of King Sadala's lieutenants. Broly rips this lieutenant to shreds, unbeknownst to him that this is not Dula, the man that killed Cheelai, delivering what only can be described as a finishing blow that can be seen from miles and miles away. Ugh, it doesn't look good. Kale, you absolutely have to go back. Broly has completely lost it. You're the only one who understands what's going on in this state. And it'll be okay? And now she's understanding us. We'll settle this account to this coward, and we'll join you as soon as possible. You can count on us. Good luck then, we'll make it. Broly. Oh no, Cheelai, I need to hurry. Back at the battlefield, the blast is about to hit the lieutenant, but only the swift action of another one of the king's guards ultimately grabs him out of the way and saves his life. The venerable heir was right as always. The king confronts Dula. You knew he wouldn't just attack you, right? You and your friends are nothing but filthy scum, and you, the most obnoxious one I've ever met. Saving the lieutenant's life, the rest of the Saiyans are jumping into position, trying to save their home from ultimate destruction by Broly. My men are killing each other because of you, but believe me, I won't let you get away. Not you. And what do I care, eh? 2-bit sovereign. I don't have to take orders from anyone except the venerable heir who's, by the way, taking care of your biggest asset. Stop procrastinating and get over here. Don't mess with me. Dula opens thousands of warp holes, each one with a new and different type of element coming out of them. The king having to battle against magma first. Every Saiyan now has to defend their home, not against the heir or these demons, but against Broly, one of their ranks who's just lost all recognition of who is friend and who is foe. This is our moment. What are you doing? Keep your distance. Broly kills the Saiyans closest to him. Well, I've settled the accounts of this so-called king. It's about time. Fool, I've been through hell, and I haven't been afraid of the heat for a long time. Definitely not common on this planet. The Saiyans are in shock, seeing one of their own, headless, falling to the ground at the hands of somebody who they considered their friend. Hey, big fat slob! Is that all you got? What are you trying to prove by attacking only inexperienced soldiers? You're not strong enough to attack more powerful fighters. Admiral, what are you doing? Shut up, soldier. I know what I'm doing. Is that all Cheelai was worth to you? And with these words, this lieutenant draws all Broly's anger, frustration, and rage toward him alone, and orders everybody else to back off. But before the death blow can be delivered, Kale jumps into the action, saving the lieutenant's life. Broly, it's me, Kale! Kale attempts to calm Broly down. She is the only one that understands his rage, understands what he's having issues with, what his problem is. She asks for his hand to cool the monster, cool the rage filled within him. Broly grabs her hand and throws her away, severely damaging her forearm in the process. Kale shoots a ball of ki energy at Broly, only for him to catch it and deliver it back to her, but with his own toxic ki attached to it. Will Kale succeed in doing anything against him? He has become an unstoppable beast, the exact representation of what our king hates in the Super Saiyan. But he's our ally, and Kale knows this more than anyone else, so let's trust her. Chaos. This is what I asked Dula. The greatest strategists know how to turn any situation to their advantage. It's all a matter of foresight. Tch, you like being a smartass like that, huh? Don't think I've forgotten you sent one of your damn henchmen to track down Bulma. I won't forgive you, you bastard. On a side note here, I do think that it should be noted that Vegeta is literally going up against a God of Destruction level being in Super Saiyan Blue. That's impressive. Yet everything seems to be going my way from the moment I set foot on this planet. I won't play your game forever, believe me. I can't wait to see your full potential, Vegeta. Like before, Broly grabs Kale by her face, and only the force of Kale's ki pushed him back. But at that moment, Broly becomes distracted by something going off in the distance and rushes to meet this distraction. But this distraction gives Kale the opening she needs to grab onto his leg and put him in a pincer, normally a grappling move that would get the opponent to tap out or at minimum not be able to move. But this won't stop Broly on his own as Kale teleports right into his face. He shoots a beam at her, knowing where she was going to be. Only the quick movements of her momentum avoided the fate of getting a ki blast to the face. She needs to calm him down. Face to face, berserker to berserker. It's me, Kale. Hear the sound of my voice, brother. We've done it before. I know you can do it. She came back to her normal state. She's crazy. No, let her do it. Cheelai, Broly, I can hear your inner self. Here. Can you hear me? I know you're struggling not to lose control, Broly. I know this because the energy bonds I hold you with are no match for your strength. Yet your body is pinned to the ground, which is proof that you are trying to pull yourself together. So take back control while you still can. No. But you must do it. Not until he pays. He'll pay. That damn demon will pay. But I can't let you go back. You won't just attack him. You'll do collateral damage. And we can't afford to lose anyone more. If you don't agree, I'll do it anyway. No. I absolutely have to stop him. Please come to your senses. I know you can. After receiving the death blow by Dula, Cheelai is rushed to the planet Sadala Medical Center by Admiral Fennel. Kaba waiting there to greet her. He can see that the events of the battle for planet Sadala have become deadly, and Cheelai's life hangs in the balance. Be careful, she's in extremely unstable state. Doctors, you must do something. Cheelai? Oh no, what happened to her? One of these demons wanted to enrage Broly and he succeeded. After making it in the nick of time, Cheelai's heartbeat is consistent and she is in stable condition. With Bulma behind her medical care, Cheelai is in good hands even though she is in critical condition. Admiral Fennel does not know what happened. These demons, they just came out of nowhere and we were not prepared in the slightest. We were still in the middle of training the army, and that's what happens. You don't choose your battlefield when you're being ambushed, and that's exactly what this was, an ambush. Cheelai wishes that she had been there to stop this demon from causing all this mayhem. Maybe she could have made a difference, but Kaba is reassuring her, saying that no, Mr. Vegeta asked them to protect Bulma. That's exactly what they're going to do. But even then, Bulma is a little bit uneasy, asking if there was any trace of the demon whatsoever because he had left long before they did. And Admiral Fennel agrees with her. He should have arrived there by now. Cheelai is optimistic in the fact that maybe the demon backed off after seeing how much guards and how many warriors there were protecting the target. Kaba dismisses all this because of everything that they've been able to use and do and contend with, almost looking unstoppable. Venerable Air going toe-to-toe with Vegeta, Dula confronting Broly of all people, and now this mysterious warrior running around causing mayhem. Odds are they need to be on the offensive, they need to be on their guard. But security seems to be tight with this lone warrior taking it upon himself to get security to secure not only the building but the at-risk patients and people taking refuge in the building. That way they don't get hit in the crossfire. Parsa, you didn't feel any evil presence where you went by any chance? Fortunately or unfortunately, no. I have no idea where he... What the? Parsa. So that's your name. You may not be remembered, but you will at least be recognized as my first victim here. Why can't you move? It's rude I have come to you in this case. I am only an executor. The Venerable Heir ordered me to take care of this Bulma, and you are obstacles. The concern being that once I've taken care of you, I'll give the alert of my presence. Anyway, I had to act sooner or later.
So let me tell you that I will be indebted to you the day we meet in the afterlife. And with that in front of the Admiral and Bulma, Cheelai, and Kaba, Parsa is dead. Somehow the villain has shown himself and Kaba is on it. He needs to get Bulma out of here because he is after her. You're right. 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78. If someone has the slightest problem, don't hesitate. Your father seems really committed. Anyway, I sincerely hope that Bulma's doing well. I don't see her with us. I'm worried. What are you doing? Checking the perimeter, Kaba and Caulifla come up dry. They haven't seen anything. Where is this villain? It seems they are too late. Salaga's power has been activated and he has taken over Admiral Fennel, doing the exact same thing to her as to what he did to Parsa. It is really cool how Salaga fights. He seems to be almost like a Sharingan type of user, maybe using hallucinations or maybe even using Sandman type elements where he puts his victims to sleep and kills them in their nightmares. It's something that we really don't get to see in Dragon Ball all that often. I'm glad that all three of the villains for this arc have completely different powers. Hep, hep, hep. Can you see me? Good. You'll be my second victim. Congratulations. What? Doing the only thing that she can think of, Caulifla sucker punches the hell out of Admiral Fennel, knocking her out in the dreamscape in front of Salaga, releasing her from this torture, releasing her from imminent death, and unleashing the demon in front of all of them. It does seem like his powers work very similarly to a Sharingan user, someone using hallucinations against their opponent. How did you know? I know encounters like you. The worst that can happen is that they hypnotize us and make us powerless to move. Therefore, I warn my comrades that we must be careful to always stay together to react if one of us is caught. Bravo, Caulifla. You knew how to take advantage of Admiral Ruba's teachings. You had to act quickly while thinking about how to parry spells of this level. It's true that this big fatty has taught me a lot of things. I simply acted in the best way possible at the time, thinking that a strong enough shock could break the spell. While that may sound pretty reckless, it worked. Such a powerful magic is bound to have backlash indeed. Well done, but here I am exactly where I wanted to be. And he's right in front of Bulma, exactly where he wanted to be. He just wanted to take the rest of them out through his special technique. That way he could just take Bulma, no problem. This is a cool chapter. It isn't very long, but it definitely shows us the powers of these demons of Salaga, and I feel like it is really, really awesome. We get an entire arc that is just dedicated to these guys who we didn't really know too much about from the very beginning. Like, they aren't the main threats in this story. The other gods of destruction that got resurrected and the mother of all angels, they are the villains. Saving Goku is the priority, but these three characters that came out of nowhere, I actually like them a lot. I think that they add a lot of flavor to this and make the Dragon Ball world like feel extremely rich. If I didn't know anything about Dragon Ball and I just read this, I would be hooked. And honestly, it'd be probably jarred a little bit if I read this and then after watched Dragon Ball Super, like how different it is. So let me know in the comments below what you guys thought. This is going to be BlackScape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content. Or perish.